Shout out to you, Ronan. Thank you for tapping in, fam bam. Salute to you. I hope everybody's having a good week. I hope everybody has had a good week. It's Thursday. The week is almost over with. Not quite. For the people working Monday through Friday, we got one more day left. Or you guys have one more day left. I've been on vacation. Let this notification marinate. Tonight, we're going to do an interview with DS1. I'm excited about this interview. Like, extremely excited. What's up, Aunt? Thank you, Ronan. I appreciate that. I don't know why. I kind of felt like almost intimidated to get on camera, and like I've never felt intimidated to get on camera before, like ever. I don't know what that was about, but they say it's like riding a bicycle. What's up, Aunt? Auntie, what's up with the purge? You ain't doing it no more? What's up with that? Hey, Elle, thank you for tapping in. You guys, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Share the stream. Bunny don't scare animals nor babies, so you solid. No, I don't. Neither one of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the guests. What's up, fam bam?
What up? What up? You hear me?
I can hear you. Say something else.
What up? What up? What up?
I can hear you. Okay, can you guys hear him? Okay, it's a little low, but it's not too low. It's a
Okay.
little low though.
All right. What about now?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay. What's good?
Not much. I want to say thank you for joining me.
No doubt. No doubt. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
So you've said before that this is your first interview.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You actually the first interview. Yeah. First interview of like the space and yeah, pretty much.
Thank you for allowing me to do this interview. It was kind of like I'm like I want to talk to people and peel like layers back of people that's never really truly had their layers peeled back. And I know that there's more to them. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you for not screening. You guys, there has been absolutely no screening done. He does not know the questions. Um, he told me that nothing was off limits, which I'm like, wow, that was impressive. That was extremely impressive. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I see you third. Peace. Thank you so much for tapping in. You guys, please hit that like button. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Can one of you guys please drop DS1's link? Pretty please with sugar on top. I would appreciate that. So I'm going to get right on up into it. So, do you want to be called Sheep or DS1?
DS1. DS1.
Okay. Okay. So, DS1, where you from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. Okay. So, born and raised, or you just from there?
Born and raised.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. What age generation are you in? And when I say that, Gen X, millennial, we know you're not a baby boomer. I
I'm
would
a
hope not.
I'm a
But
millennial.
really?
Mhm.
Okay. Growing up, tell me about, like, as far as your role model, what was, because we are in the manosphere and this is the manosphere algorithm, right?
Mhm.
Did you have a strong male role model? And if so, tell me about it.
Yeah, it was my dad.
That's
Pretty
what's up.
much. Yeah, it was my dad. My dad was pretty much always in my life. You know, even after him and my mom split up when I was young, he still was always there. You know, and he was just always there. Like I could always call him. He would reach out to me. You know, he would send me stuff. When I graduated, he was at all my graduations. You know, from when I graduated elementary school to when we moved out of New York. He came to my junior high school graduation. He's at my high school graduation, my college graduation. So it was my dad. A lot of a lot of the way that I am is it come from my dad. Just a lot of my demeanor come from my dad.
Okay. Okay. So, I heard you so nonchalantly said that you graduated from college. That explains a lot, like a lot. Okay, so as far as your relationship with your mother, what was that like?
I mean, it was pretty much like any other, you know, any one of us growing up. It was rough at times, and you know, I actually moved with my dad back when I was young, and I did high school with him, and which was the best thing for me at that time, you know. So I think it was just pretty much. I mean, I'm gonna say at that time I thought it was real bad. Now that I'm grown and I could look at things differently. I see that it really wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It really was for my best interest at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really for my best interest. But I'm gonna say at that time, yeah, I thought it was bad, with me and my mom disagreeing with a lot of stuff you know, and she did I feel like she made the best decision at the end of the day by not going back and forth with me being a growing boy, but just send me to my father.
What age
So
were
so he could deal with it. I was 13.
you? Okay.
Yeah, I was 13. I was just matter of fact, I was 12 getting ready to turn 13 because I just graduated junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
And my birthday ain't until January. So I'm always younger when I graduate than everybody else. I'm always like a few months to a year younger. So
So I'm assuming you were a boy that was either pre-puberty or right at puberty, growing up in the Brook, as I've heard people call it. So growing up
mhm.
in Brooklyn, and your mom's was like, okay, go live with your pops, which I actually think that that should happen more, especially with boys. What was that like, going to go stay with pops?
I loved it because basically I went back home
Mm-hmm.
because what happened was when I when I initially graduated elementary school, me and my mom moved away. We left New York. So we moved to Virginia and I did middle school in Virginia. I did 7th and 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So when my mom sent me back, I did high school. I did high school and I did college in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean I was pretty much, I was happy. I saw my friends again, except they was older now. You know, all my friends I grew up with initially. I went back to the block that I was actually born on.
Hmm.
So I mean, it wasn't too bad for me. I actually liked it, honestly.
Okay. Okay. Did you finish school out in New York?
Yeah. hmm
That's what's up.
High school and college.
No, that's what's up. I think that that is very important. That strong male role model is important, especially for boys. I think that that's extremely important.
Yeah,
So,
it is. It definitely is because even with being with my dad, we had our times where we was at odds and stuff too. But at the end of the day, it was for my best interest.
mhm.
You know. So
I've always heard the saying, a woman can't raise a man. And I agree with that. I agree with that. We're different. We're completely different. So that's what's up. I'm happy that you had that. You said that you graduated from college. And let me just say this. One
mhm.
of your nicknames from one of my sissies is the hood philosopher. Even the hood Socrates. So that's why I say that that made sense. That makes sense. So that's interesting in a good way. In a good
Mhm.
way. Um, I don't know if you want to touch too much on that, but I think that that's interesting. Can you just tell me what age you were, or about what age you were when you graduated from college?
Um, shit, I was in my 20s. It was what I graduated in 2008.
That's what's up. So right after high school, you went to college.
Yeah, I took a year off. I took a year, not a whole year, a few months, and I
Mhm.
went to one school. That school got kind of too expensive, so I had to take a year off. And then I went back and got my associate. So yeah.
That's what's up. No, no, that's what's up. That made me smile. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to your childhood.
hmm
On YouTube, we hear a lot about single mothers and the gynocracy.
hmm
How would you describe the gynocracy?
I'm gonna
Now that
say
you're older. Now
now
that
that
you're older.
now that I'm older, uh,
Hmm.
um, I'm gonna say for the most part, it's something that's unnecessary, but it's something that's socially. It's like It's a social construct that's created out of trauma
Hmm.
and uh fear and the lack of resources and things of that nature. Um, I definitely think it's something that doesn't have to exist.
Hmm.
I don't think it's a necessary evil. I think it's something that doesn't have to, it doesn't have to exist. But
Hmm.
I think it does. I think it's something that's real, you know. And honestly, I think it's going to continue to be perpetuated because it keeps the status quo in society.
Hmm.
Society won't work if you don't have certain things. So that's why some people say it's a necessary evil, but I don't think so. I think it's something that's manufactured. I think if we were able to work out our issues as men and women, the gynocracy won't exist because it'll always people will always be able to get through shit to where women don't have to feel alone or ever be alone.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Hmm.
ever have to depend on someone outside of the man that she decided to be with. I think if we find that fixing that is more important than the because the gynocracy is a result of us not fixing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is at the end of the day. If we both sat down and said, listen, we gonna fix this for the children and the legacy of our family, if that was more important instead of trying to prove each other wrong and who was right and
Mm-hmm.
how this should have been and why this wasn't that, all the necessary things that don't really matter once your children get older, and then y'all be regretting this shit as parents. Why not just figure,
It's fixed.
why not just cut all of that shit out in the beginning, you know?
So growing up, did you see the gynocracy in real time? And if so, how?
Oh hell yeah.
Not a hell yeah.
For
Okay.
sure. For sure. I mean,
Especially in New York.
I grew up in the hood, so
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So tell me some of the little things you seen of the little gynocrats running around.
I mean, I'm gonna just say, it's like you growing up with your friends
Mm,
and y'all just living a certain way. We didn't know that that's what that was, but that's what it was. That's what it was, and I'm gonna be honest. The way we grew up, we thought it was fun.
the gynocracy is lit. And
We
you
thought
heard
it
it
was
here.
fun.
The gynocracy is lit. You hear
Yeah,
me? It's lit.
we thought it was
Yeah.
fun. So
Yeah.
we didn't look at it like how we didn't look at it how in hindsight we look at it now as being grown, because it's like, damn, we actually made a fun out of poverty.
Yeah.
We actually made no, I'm saying especially for me and my friends, because
Mm-hmm.
you know no bullshit, but we actually was swimming in crack valves. My block was a real known crack block in Brooklyn. Like,
Got you.
we played in crack valves. That's how much
Got you.
crack was being sold on my block. So
All
it
on the
was really
ground
like
and
that.
shit.
Yeah, it
All
was
on the
really like
ground
that.
and
It
shit. Yeah.
wasn't no it wasn't no just we in the hood. No, it was really like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was really live like that.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I grew up in the 90s. So it really was like that. My block was really like that. Crack being sold everywhere outside. Everything's going on. Police back and forth. A shootout might happen earlier that day. They might come back later on. Every day there's a dice game. Everybody's outside with the kids drinking, smoking. This was active every day when I
Yeah.
was growing up as a little
Yeah.
boy. So it was just like we just outside. It wasn't like we actually knew that this what was going on and we was actually subjected to this stuff. We didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we older and we see the effects, because some of us, a lot of us have children, and then a lot of us started growing up and doing some of the shit that we used to watch them do. So that's when we started to make the connection, because you go from watching it to admiring it to trying it to then being out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you know how real it is, when you start being out there and you got to experience it. You got to experience the shootout. You got to run from the shots. You got to shoot back sometime. If if that's what you called to do. You got to run from the police. You got to do these.
Normalize dysfunction.
Right, you got to do
It's
this stuff
normal.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Before, you was just amazed as a young boy watching it. Now you doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when we started understanding that, oh nah, this is not some shit that we really want to be doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a millennial myself. I'm an older millennial, and I was young during like the peak of the crack epidemic, but it was horrible. From
Mhm.
what the little things I remember about it, because around that time we moved back from Louisiana. We moved from Louisiana to Oklahoma. It was horrible. So I can
Mhm.
only imagine what it was like watching that shit play out in New York.
Mhm. Definitely.
That's traumatizing. That it has
definitely.
to, that's some traumatizing shit, man. For real.
Yeah, but like I said, it a lot of us we it was normal to us and it looked cool because gotta remember too in New York, being a drug kingpin back then was cool.
Hmm.
It was cool watching them dudes, pull up on those Ducatis and pull up on those dirt bikes and pull up in those Jeeps 4x4s and those GS bent, those GS Lexuses with the buggy eyes and the Pathfinders
With
and
all the Gucci on and
with the
shit, because
big
y'all was big
cell
on
phones and
labels.
right. We looked at that like, oh shit. And then here comes the guy. Here's when the gynocracy come in. Shorty on the back of the bike, shorty in the passenger seat.
With a fat ass, I'm be honest.
Right.
With
Oh,
a
crazy. With
fat
the
ass.
big with the earrings that you got in, smacking a gum in her mouth, blowing bubbles.
With the bamboo joints.
Yeah, blowing
Yeah.
bubbles and shit. So it was like, oh nah, look at that, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so did you see brotherhood growing up?
um I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say what I thought was, you know, because as I said before, as y'all heard me say before, there's no bro code really.
Hmm.
And I learned that being out there, because that's where you learn, like, you dudes will stab you in your back. You know what I'm saying? So you it's an illusion of brotherhood, because if y'all all trying to get to the same goal, sometimes when you in the streets, people gonna come around you because they either want to join you, they either want to get down with you, or they want to get down on you.
Hmm.
So either they want to hurt you or they want to get down with you. So you always, you gonna have that. But as time go on, you gonna realize that a lot of times, it's no real brotherhood. It's almost like just associations,
Yeah.
because usually when life start to hit everybody, a lot of y'all go y'all separate ways, you know. But that's what happened with me and my friends. We all going our separate ways. Now we still cool. It's all love, but it's not what we used to say it was gonna be when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? We used to think it was gonna be something else that it just didn't play out to be. And that's cool with me.
So, you know what? I'll come back to that. Did you see sisterhood?
Oh hell yeah. That's the whole that was oh, for
You say
sure.
that with conviction.
For sure. Cause
Hell yeah.
Cause not me, but a lot of my homies, they used to get jumped by girls back in the day that we grew up with.
No, I heard them New York chicks
Yeah,
beat your ass.
they used to get
I heard
jumped.
they will beat your
'Cause-
ass.
Yeah, since they was, man, a lot of my homegirls, they used to jump dudes since we was little. They used to jump us. They used to jump my friends and all that. They used to fight us. So yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, I saw it. I saw it for sure. But did I know the inner workings of it the way I do now as a man? Nah. But as just seeing it and how it operated, and girls teaming up and keeping secrets, and oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
So, what was more thorough, the sisterhood or the brotherhood?
Hmm. I don't I don't know. I'm honestly, I don't know, because when we was young as boys, we will team up to go against some girls. I'm gonna be honest. When we was young, we'd come together and be on some, because a lot of the games that we used to play was boys versus girls.
Mm-hmm.
Boys catch girls, freeze tag, hide and go get it, 7-Eleven. It was always boys
Boys
versus
against
girls.
girls.
So yeah, we'd team up to
Yeah.
to get what we want to get or whatever. But um, so I can't really say what was more prevalent. I can't really. I can't really say that. Speaking from back then, But now I'm gonna say if I'm speaking to it from today's perspective, I'm gonna say the girls always had the sisterhood was always stronger, always because no matter even if we'll team up with each other, spin the bottle, right? Still a bacon. Um,
What the fuck is still a bacon?
oh, see, you don't know about that, but
Mm.
but
Hell nah. It sound wild. It sound wild.
but yeah, because even back then, you'll always have one or two dudes out the crew that you would catch in the corner, down the block, hiding with a girl, kissing on her, talking in her ear, whispering. Even when we was young, we always caught dudes doing that. So the sisterhood was always stronger because even when we caught them and we'll make fun of them, the girls will always protect their homegirl more than we'll protect our homeboy. We'll
That's in
clown,
our nature,
we'll
though.
clown our homeboy, we'll clown our homeboy more, and y'all will be like, girl, forget them. Come on, forget them.
And then
And
pop
we
off on the guy like, don't be talking about my sister. Don't be
yeah, and
talking about
we'll
my
be sitting there
homegirl.
just clowning. Yeah, we'll just be sitting
Yeah,
there clowning him because he was lying to us, telling us he ain't like her. And then we caught you down there with him, and he was
in the
kissing
alley.
you and all that. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, yeah, the sisterhood was always stronger, for sure.
Okay. Okay. How did you stumble onto Black YouTube?
Um, I started out in the conscious community sector, like with
Mhm.
the HOK, Sinetta, and all those dudes. I started out over there, and
Mhm.
I was introduced to this sector from um a pro black older woman that knew about the manosphere, but I met her in the conscious community, like in that sector, in that part of Black YouTube. And she started sending me shows of Angry Man when Angry Man was live. This was
Okay.
back in his early, and back in like 2017 times back
Old
then.
school Valdez.
Yeah, yeah,
Old school. Old school
yeah,
Valdez. So
yeah.
would you consider yourself pro-black?
Yeah, I consider myself black first, for sure.
When you say black first, break that down.
Meaning I'm always in favor for my people first,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. So the lady that introduced you to the manosphere,
Mhm.
why do you think she introduced you to the manosphere?
Because my content was pro male. It was I was making manosphere content when I
When I
was
was
in
in.
the conscious community. I was making manosphere content. All of my content was encouraging men,
Mhm.
always encouraging men. So I guess she was trying to help me uh go to the niche market that I was basically neglecting myself from because those guys over there, I got into it with those guys too because for whatever reason, but I guess that's why she did it.
Got you. Got you. Who were you the most drawn to in the manosphere? Who could you relate to the most?
Initially,
Hmm.
BGS.
Interesting. See,
Hmm.
I've been told that we came like, I think that was like late 2018, but I've been told initially BGS was actually pro black and he was
Hmm.
actually pro black family. Is that true?
Yeah, when I he was the first guy I spoke to from the manosphere. He was one of the first dudes. Him, because I used to speak to him on Loadcast channel. Shout out to Loadcast.
Locast has been around for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first time I spoke to BGS, it was on Loadcast panel, and um I was actually drawn to his content first because I was into the esoteric stuff at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, BGS was into that
Mm-hmm.
because when I found out his name was Black Gnostic Speaks, and I was into the Gnostic, the Gnostic information, which is occult, Gnostic or whatever, unknown, unseen, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, that's who I was drawn to initially, because at that time, that's why I was on.
No, I've actually heard him. I actually heard him on a young ladies panel like a year ago, and he was talking about astrology like so freely, like it just rolled right off of his tongue, and I've never forgot that. Like, okay, so he's well versed in it, and for astrology to roll off of your tongue the way it was rolling off of his tongue, it's like, okay, he's studied a bit. Shout out to everybody that's joined. I see you guys. I see Sugar Bomb, Third, Ace of Spade, Kevin Kelly. What's up, fam? Bam. Shatira, of course, Ronan. I see you, Zero, Cassandra. If you guys are not subscribed to Sheep, go ahead and subscribe to him. Will you guys please drop that link? We appreciate him. We appreciate him tapping in and coming through. I appreciate it. So, which talking point in the manosphere could you relate to the most?
Currently, none.
When you first came into space, sir?
When I first came into space,
Yes, sir.
um, honestly, the whole red pill thing. That's what drew me. The
Can you
whole
break down the red pill for folks who don't know what that is?
simply from it's just simply awareness of who you are in the world and at a specific time. It's not nothing drawn out. It has nothing to do with women. It's totally about and you actually waking up to something you weren't aware of, which is another aspect of life that you have to get grips. You have to basically come to grips with. A lot of people say it's about women, but it's not. Has nothing to do with women. Because once you accept yourself as a man, a lot what women do and say and things of that nature really won't phase you as much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm gonna say that initially.
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely say that because I'm gonna say that because I think at that time I felt that the men should have used the red pill ideology to unify, and as we saw, that ain't happen.
Yeah.
But that's what drew me, because all of the other guys who were who were promoting red pill, I saw that as a way for us to unify and to bring the whole space together as black men. I never looked at it as I never looked at it like ideology that we were supposed to use to go against one another, or to weaponize, or even to weaponize against women. you know so
Is there any talking point in the space that you still can identify with?
absolutely not.
Is there any talking point in the space that you feel is detrimental?
All of them, because
Can I get like two examples, please? The most, which you feel like is the worst. Well, first, let me ask this. Let me ask this.
mhm,
Slow down. How has the space changed since when you entered it back in? You said 2017, right?
mhm.
How has it changed?
It it has become a s- a sissy fest. It has become a, it's just very watery. Everything's watered down. Everything is about what these chicks did and what they didn't do, and it has there's no real substance anymore. It's almost like just a talk show where people just come up there and just chat. And it's there's no substance, and I think that happened because the men didn't want to focus on men and what men should be actually doing. Because if we were truly red pill, which is awareness, we would be aware of our issues as men and been trying to focus on that, not our issues as men with women. Because all of us men that was in the space don't have issues with women. And if we do, we don't put that shit out on the forefront. That's not something we wear as a badge of honor, like
So
oh,
what
I just keep getting ghosted. Like that's
women
weird.
are riding and sliding, like you guys say, like the men, you guys say pumped and dumped. Women, we say riding and sliding. The women are just riding and sliding out. They cool.
Right.
Okay, so before the space became about women, what was it about that you liked about
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I thought it was about. I
it?
thought it was about male camaraderie, agency. This is why I came up with We're Our Own Agency, and because that's what I thought it was about. I thought it was about, okay, these are men that share a lot of the same sentiments about society and what's going on. Okay, so now we can actually turn this into something.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at it as it ever being anything about women or going at women. I knew that dudes spoke about women because I spoke about women back then. But it was never to just constantly go at women and try to make women look a certain way. It was always about notifying the men about these types of women. You see what I'm saying? It was never about, yo, this is what they just be doing, and I'm gonna just sit there and keep going in about that. It was never about that. And initially I thought that it wasn't about that until,
So, whenever I caught the tail end of the space, I seen men giving resources, whether it was about like going to trade school, getting a
Mhm.
skill. Um, Men talk. I even used to hear men talking about when they went through stuff mentally and depressions, and I don't. The space has most definitely changed. So I've heard you reference the women a lot. You were the most. You were extremely verbal about women being in the space. Why? Because it was offensive. As a woman who liked to hear men talk, and I'm gonna continue to listen, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I told you back then. You're not gonna stop me from listening. Why were you so I don't want women in the space? You were screaming it to the rooftop.
Because it goes back to my childhood. We
Mm-hmm.
always knew that it was gonna, some dudes was gonna get creamy. It was gonna be some dudes that start sneaking off and, yo, we getting ready to do this, and we over there talking about this because you giving him some play.
Mm-hmm.
Or he wants some play. So the way he gets some play is he pillow talk. He started exposing certain shit. See, I saw this as a young boy. So I know that if these women come around here with these little soft voices, they already got their little hood swag to them. These dudes are gonna crumble. because they don't know nothing about this.
Mhm.
You know, and I was really speaking on the guys who considered themselves at that time ELs. I was really worried about those guys,
What is it, EL?
educated lane,
Okay, got you.
right? I was really worried about them because I already knew that they want the hood chick. Because those was the dudes that we grew up with that couldn't stay outside long. You know, they come outside, they come from church, they chill with us for a minute, then they got to go back upstairs. Once the girls start coming and the music start playing, they be watching from the window. See, I knew this type of stuff, and they used to get mad at me because they thought I used to try to diss them, but I'm like, no,
Hell
I'm
no.
really just speaking from my experience. I know that y'all can't
I'm not
handle
messing
these.
with you.
Y'all can't handle these girls because some of my friends can't.
Mhm.
Some of my friends is getting caught up lying. Yo, I don't like her, son. And then you kissing her. We caught you writing a love letter. We caught you giving her $1, buying her chips in the store. You know,
Why did
and this is
those
when we little boys, not teenagers or grown men. This is when we little.
why did those boys with a Stacey Adams on come with them looking hot? Why did they come from church in that hot ass outfit and could why did they come from church in that hot ass outfit, stay outside for about a good 10-15 minutes before their parents was calling for them?
Because that was that time. They need that time. You know, they get out that car and feel that hood wind. They gotta run. They got that's why you notice them church kids, they get out the car and they take off running. Because they want to feel that outside breeze, you know. And see, when you from up north, when you from up north, northeast, we got like this world renowned smell that a lot of people that's not from there, they don't like it, but we love it. So when it's summertime and you got that hood smell on you, you know, they don't be trying to go in the house because that remind them of everything that's going on outside.
We call it smelling like the outside down
Yeah,
south.
that's what we call it. Yeah, that's what we
Smelling
call it.
like the
It smell
outside.
like outside. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We used to love that.
Okay, so did they parents make them come in? Do you think that those little boys were, because I mean that is essentially what we're seeing in the space, and I've been saying that these kids were not allowed to play outside. I mean, it is what it is. So it's crazy you say that, right? So
Mhm.
did they parents make them come in, or you just think that they weren't ready for it? Because like what I seen, some of like the OGs of the neighborhood, even as kids, would be like, hey, go upstairs, because they cared about the little Stacy Adam hot suit wearing ass little boy and didn't want them to get clowned.
Right.
Did you see that? That's what I seen.
Um, nah, it was more of their parents. Like one of my homeboys, he was like that. And
Mhm.
you know, he ended up being more active with us outside as he got older, but it wasn't much, it wasn't like people, it wasn't a care thing. It was more of what type of parents you had back
Mhm.
in them days too. You know, my parents was outside, not just outside, but outside. You know, it's a difference. You
Mhm.
know, my parents just didn't hang outside. My parents was known. My parents was active.
Mhm.
So me as a kid, along with my other friends, their parents was the same way.
Mhm.
You know that. You know, so that's why we was outside and able to do the shit that we was doing. But some of our friends, they parents weren't like that. You know, so they had, you
More
know,
sheltered.
yeah, they were more sheltered.
Sheltered. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think where we are now as adults that there is a brotherhood?
I believe it's pockets of it. I believe I believe it should be shown a lot more in the media.
Mhm.
It's something that's cool and it's something that should be normalized. But I definitely think it's pockets of it. I don't think it's something that's just out there like the sisterhood. The sisterhood is commercialized. Brotherhood is not commercialized. Sisterhood is.
Do you feel like there's any brotherhood in the space?
No. I believe it's brothers who cool with each other, but nah, not at all.
Okay, so I have to ask. You and the Black Order were once extremely cool. What
Hmm.
took place?
Um, what took place like from the beginning, but
Yeah,
or
I mean, you could
basically the
start there.
fallout.
I mean, you could wherever you want to start, wherever you feel comfortable.
Well, initially, I came in and I supported them, and I was going hard supporting them, and they was like, "Yo, you cool or whatever, whatever," and we was cool,
Mhm.
and over time, you know, I really don't know what happened. Honestly, I believe it was a lot of behind the scenes shits, a lot of things that I don't know about that I was able to put together when the hatred came out in the forefront,
Mhm.
you know, because a lot of times, I'm the type of dude like the way that I am. If you don't like me, it's eventually gonna come out. I'm not the type of person you could front how you feel about me for too long because I'm too honest. I'm
It's
me.
it's one of those either you either love me to death or you can't stand my ass. There's no in the middle.
Yeah,
I can relate to that a lot. Yeah.
I'm one of those. I forgot
Yeah.
what they call those people, but I'm definitely one of those people where if you don't like me, you're gonna admit it eventually. It's gonna
Mhm.
come out, and that's what happened. Do I know why? No, I still don't know why. I don't care, but I don't. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you where the fallout happened, but I just know, when shit got real evident to me that it was an issue. Of course, I'm not gonna back down. And since we can't see each other and express how we feel in person, you know, I could use my wits, and my words and those things, and we can go to war that way. And I was, as y'all saw it, I went to war with them dudes by myself, and it was what it was.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think that your talking points have changed? Or do you think your talking points changing had anything to do with that?
No, nah, because I feel like I feel like I was always clear on my stance with everything.
Mhm.
Even when they could say my talking points changed, because I do remember making it very clear to the space that we need to stop talking about women. So if that's where they could say the change up came, I stated that because it will hinder the space, not because I'm trying to get money out of women,
Mhm.
like them goofy niggas thought.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I thought we was thinking like men, not like broads and broke chicks, where you think I'm just trying to do something for some money. That's what they thought. No, I said, let's stop talking about women because it was hindering the process and hindering the progress of what we said we was about. Because that happens in real life to men. Women be the be the reason a lot of guys don't get further. It don't always be this guy got further because of a woman. Sometimes this guy could have been held back in his life because of a woman too. So that's what that was about. It was about progressing the space and progressing the conversation and getting into let's talk about what we need to be doing for men. Okay, we done got all the rage out. We done talked about what we done been through. We done talked about child support court. We done talked about divorce. We done talked about getting ran through the mud. We done talked about getting embarrassed. We done talked about all of that. Now let's talk about what we're gonna do to not allow that to happen to us again. That takes us not talking about women. This is what they were mad at because I challenged niggas to do something they never had the heart to do, which is drop your nuts and talk about what we need to fix now. And I believe the reason why they didn't want to talk about it is because they knew they had no solutions. Honestly.
I think that there's a fear of failure with Black people, not just with Black men, with Black people as a whole. And if we had higher esteem, we would be further. But I think that there is most definitely a fear of failure. You most definitely did not want women in the space. You were calling folks covert hyenas. You called me out for what I am before anybody even knew what I was. Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I did because honestly, and I'm gonna tell you why I did that too. I did that to show dudes, hey, it's whatever. Because sometimes you gotta make some examples.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I
he
was
said that. You
go ahead.
called me out. You said that I was the girl in the hood who everybody talked to. I'll listen and be a counselor and everything. But as soon as you try me, I'm going to pull out a folder on that ass and start clowning.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just gave me that vibe from since I knew you back then, since I
You
knew
said
of
that
you
before
back
I even
then.
started clowning folks. You said that.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
just and that's why I told dudes, you know, because I mean, let's just be real. The spaces where it's at right now, I predicted it.
You did. No, you did.
The women were gonna run the
You did.
space. The
Yeah.
men were gonna have to come to the women to get views, and look,
Mhm.
you get me views now. I had to come to look. I mean, you came to me, which I appreciated, but
Of course.
look. You think any of them niggas would ever interview me? Never. Never. I could never be on a Bernard Riley. I could never be on a Roger Report. Never. Ever. You know? I mean, we did used to have a comedy hour and all that. Shout out to my bro, the Book of Ronan, where we did roast a lot of dudes, but it really was out of fun. It really was not out of spite and not liking dudes. Honestly, the comedy hour really was just a kickback type of thing where we had fun, but we did roast a lot of dudes in the manosphere, and that did leave a bad taste in a lot of dudes' mouths. And now I understand. I understand how it could have played a part in me getting blackballed. Even though I think I was blackballed before that, but I think they throw that in the pot too.
I feel like that's part of as you know, I grew up around a bunch of men. I grew up with men slap boxing and clowning, so that was normal to me. Um,
That's what I'm saying too, though. That's why I said I didn't want women in the space, because if y'all in the space and y'all start agreeing with certain shit that dudes are saying, it's gonna make the other guys who don't get agreed with, it's gonna make them flip on the guys who's getting agreed with. And now the men are beefing. You see what I'm saying? Where if y'all wasn't here, that wouldn't even be happening, because dudes wouldn't be having to,
Ego.
right. That would
Ego.
never be, it would never get into nothing like that. And if a dude ever got into his ego and women not around, it'll easily be dissolved. The issue will easily be dissolved, because the other man will be like, but bro, what's going on? Why you feel some type of way? And it'll be easier for the guy who feel offended to be like, yo, I feel da 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 da. But if women around,
We clowning.
especially women that's attractive, such as yourself,
Thank you.
that make these guys salty. Like, oh, he trying to show off. When dude, I'm used to being around pretty women. I'm not showing off.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm not trying to show up. I'm not trying to show you up, bro. Why you feel like that? And then he gotta prove himself because you there. And this is what was happening time after time after time on panels. And it eroded the space over time. And I knew it was gonna happen, because it erodes real life friendships between men. I know this. I saw it happen from a little boy. Dudes getting shot over girls. Two dudes from my block shot each other multiple times over messing with the same girl, and they both pillow talking. So now every time they see each other, it's a gun battle, because what she told him
in New
and
York.
what she told him, yes, on my block. I know these dudes.
That's crazy.
Thank God both of these dudes are still alive.
Yeah.
These dudes shot each other on multiple occasions, because they was messing with the same girl, and they were both pillow talking about each other to her. So every time she laid up with one, she talking about the other. And then they telling them, and then she going back telling them, and then they like, oh, word, watch when I see him. Shots fired. Somebody shot. Retaliation now. He shot. Retaliation now. Till they had to literally come together as men and say, yo, it's over. Literally. They literally had to come as men and say, yo, dog, what are we doing? We done shot at each other plenty of times. We both done shot at each other multiple times. What are we doing? We ain't die yet. She not gonna stop messing with neither one of us. What are we doing? See that? You got to remove the woman out the equation in order for the men to actually get something, to get something established as men. And I knew this type of stuff. This is why I was telling the space, nah, they can't be here. Dudes are gonna get distracted. And who was the first one distracted? The ones is to welcome the women to the space, Obsidian.
No, you're right. So this is where I have to agree with you on. What I seen was that before the women, because like in the same me being male identified, y'all know I'll go in the archives real quick and folks would just be mad at me for bringing it back up, right? But so when men would disagree on the panel, it was just like, sometimes you guys get extremely aggressive, but eventually the disagreement would be like, okay, like it'd be like, okay, like you guys will come to an agreement. When we came into space heavy, those disagreements like became grudges. So I do agree with you on to a certain degree with certain individuals. Well, I can't even say that. I do agree with you on that. I have to. And y'all, that's not me being male identified. Like I said, I'll go in the archives. I don't give a fuck. That's just what happened. You do have a point. Ego.
I mean,
You have a point. You really do.
I mean, yeah, because look at it now, where you got guys who claim manosphere who are sponsoring whole female channels. Look at where we are. How can I agree with anything or say anything is left good in the space? You got dudes who are sponsoring whole female channels who are manosphere content creators.
But the thing is that the only reason why the women were welcome in the space is because Black women have the bag, period. And that's just the
Mm.
truth. That's the only reason why we were welcome in the space. And it is what it is.
I mean,
That's just the truth of the matter.
I'm gonna say from the content creator perspective, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree because the so-called pillars or whatever they call themselves, um, they definitely did it for the bag, for sure, for sure. That's that's a fact. But I still put it on the men of the manosphere, not just the content creators, because if the men of the manosphere push back against that, those guys wouldn't have went for the bag. I believe that it was the influence of the guys of the manosphere as well, because they wanted women to be around for um
The conversation.
for their perversion. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel
Because
like it was inevitable though, because women like myself, I wasn't going nowhere. And I told you that too. I'm gonna continue to listen. I like listening. And you told me I was the nosy little girl. You
yeah,
clown.
that's always at the door. Yeah, yeah.
You
But
told me I was a nosy little girl that got kicked out and was still standing by the door. And it's crazy because that was me. Yeah, it was me. And I don't deny it. I'd do it again.
but let's be real now. You know you could stay here because who said you could stay here too? You know I can't tell you you can't be here.
Yeah,
You do know that too.
yeah,
Let's just be real.
yeah. No,
You
you're
see what I'm
right.
saying?
No, you're right.
You could pull rank on a nigga. I'm gonna be honest. You could pull rank on me. So that's another reason why you could say I ain't going nowhere. You see, but and that's what um Sister George and them did too with Obsidian.
Mm-mm.
They basically was like, aha, what you gonna say now, nigga? Yeah, they did that. I remember when Hun Concrete did that shit.
Y'all gave them hell though, fam.
Yeah.
Y'all gave them hell. You was one of them too. You was on it. Y'all,
I mean,
y'all gave them hell though.
and with all and you know, with all due respect, but look what happened. She left with her husband. Look. Everything I said, it happened. YouTube matchfinder.com. She got married. And shout out to them. Lovely couple. Shout out to them. I wish them nothing but the best. You know, but everything I said is what happened. You know, after they got married, you know, things, things were curling and the manosphere got rocky, and you you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At one point, Curler was a very big supporter, not only with his presence, but with his dollars. He was heavy-handed on the donations. You see what I'm saying? Then Sister George come on and put that weight on him, and he
I'm not messing with you.
he he
There's
he,
people who don't
he
know that
gone
Curly
now.
hit pianos though. I was
Shout
talking
out to
about
Curler though,
they
but
didn't
he
know that
he
Curly
been
used to
gone
hit
for years.
he used to hit panels. He did.
he,
Yeah.
he he said I'm good. and,
I
and
don't like
and
you.
see, I knew.
I don't like
Listen,
you.
I know there was a lot of men like that in this space, waiting for that time to say, "Up, I done caught me a goldfish. I'm good."
It's but that's the thing.
And we can't blame them for that. We can't. I'm
But
not
that's the
blaming
thing
nobody
though.
for it.
A lot of the men in the space want to be in relationships. And I feel
Yes,
like
yes,
anytime a space becomes co-ed, we're gonna have people fucking. We gonna have people linking on linking,
Yes.
catching flights,
Yes.
chatting on the phone. We just gonna have that.
Wh-
And
Which is
I
which is
thought you were a hater. I'm gonna be
which
honest. Like you were always my people.
I
Like
mean,
you
I
a
was.
hating ass nigga.
Because listen, I'm gonna be because, and I said this before. I said this. Y'all women were always at the door because y'all knew it was good niggas here.
You
Y'all
did.
was trying to get some good niggas.
You did say that.
So I wanted to let dudes know, hey, don't fall for that because we gonna fall off mission.
Mhm.
And what happened?
You did say that though.
What
Hold on,
happened?
pause for 1 second. It show is a bunch of y'all watching from the clouds, and I appreciate most of y'all cloud watchers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't hit that like button. Shout out to y'all. You guys go ahead and subscribe to Sheep. That's the reason why I did this interview, so you guys can understand a bit more, in totality. But shout out to you guys, and shout out to you guys for hitting the like button. A couple of y'all can hit it again. I'm just saying. I'm listening. Sorry.
Nah,
You
it's all
said you
good.
knew that this was gonna happen.
Yeah, I knew it would happen because and it's nothing wrong with dudes wanting to be in relationships.
Hmm.
But and I mentioned this before, I feel like if you're looking for a relationship, go to the dating sector. Go over there with Lucario and Steve the Dean. Go to that part of the manosphere. Don't come to the part where we're building think tanks and trying to create things, on the ground for men. Don't you're in the wrong side of the sector. Go over there where go over there with Rom, you know, go over there with those guys
There
because
are dating coaches, yeah.
because you're just looking for a date. You understand? With
Mhm.
all due respect, if that's what you're looking for, go for that. Don't come where we discussing other things that supersedes women. You see, because when you come into that arena with that mindset, you then begin to throw other brothers off. You see, and we got to remember, men, we're visual. So with women always around, and we seeing women that look like you just popping up. What do you think dudes are gonna be doing? Dude's
Yeah.
gonna be like, man, I ain't going to the meeting today.
Yeah.
Bunny on and she on camera. This is what niggas is doing. And look what happened. Jessica X came to the space. Oh, I'm going to Jessica. Melody came to the space. Oh, Melody speaks. Danica Marie. Oh shit.
That
Oh,
voice got
oh,
him. No, that voice, and shout out to Jessica. That voice,
come
that's
on.
that sensual, that. So, Sheep, I can talk like this the rest of the interview.
Come on now.
But yeah, like
Come on. I
that,
mean,
that
come,
I want something voice.
this is
Yeah.
why
She was
this
on it, and I ain't even mad at her. I promise I'm not.
come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But none of this would have been an issue if guys would have just, looked at it in hindsight. But a lot of dudes think with their foreskin. They don't have foresight. They think with their foreskin.
Yeah.
So they don't forecast the issues down the line. And this is where we are now. This is where
Okay.
we are.
Okay. Okay. So, your mission statement. What would be your mission statement for your channel? And can you be nicer to the men?
My mission statement is heal before you build.
Hmm.
And can I be nicer to the
Yeah.
men?
There's some sensitive. See, there's some of them are sensitive, and they may like you, but they're sensitive. And you come
Mm,
across mean as hell, the same way I come across mean as hell to the women. Can you be nicer?
Mm.
I'm
I mean,
serious.
I
Or
mean, as far as like, I mean, like nicer as far as like what, like.
abrasive is the word I've heard.
Oh,
Not
oh, oh,
about you, but just like we're direct people, and it can come across abrasive.
oh. Well, um, I mean, I understand
Can we
that,
be
but
less abrasive?
I think nah, honestly, nah, because
No.
no, because let's look at this, okay, because I'm talking to men. We talking about men, right? So let's look at it from a I used to play football. So let's look at it from a football perspective. When we're at practice, you have different coaches for each team. Like I was a lineman. I always was a big nigga. So I'm on a line. So you have a lineman coach. You have a lineman coach, and then you have different coaches to teach you different exercises as a lineman. So the running coach for the lineman, he's not going to be less abrasive. We already big dudes, but we going to have to run. Just like we're going to have to run in the game. So he ain't going to say, "Hey man, you need to speed up. Hey man, more effort." No, get your ass down the field. Because we need to win. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you're looking if you're looking for me to be less abrasive, then you want the message to change because the message the message that I give off to the brothers, it has to have some type of harshness to it because look at our issues.
Mhm.
You want me to not be abrasive about the constant threat of extinction when
About black male extinction.
right, that's the constant threat of extinction,
Mhm.
which we just saw a autistic man get killed on a train by a Caucasian male, choked him out and killed him. So if you want us to really speak to our issues and we still out here getting killed by white men because we black, you want me to be nice about that? You want me to be nice about going to Skid Row, me and my brother, the Book of Ronan, driving through Skid Row and seeing a community of homeless black men? You want me
That
to be
shit is
nice about that?
heartbreaking. That shit, I went there once. That shit is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
That shit made me cry.
No,
Donna.
yeah.
That shit made me cry. Literally, that shit made me shed a tear. Us driving through there seeing black men pushing carts, half naked, walking through the
The
streets.
mental illness of it. Yeah.
That shit made me cry. We talking about blocks of this shit, blocks, miles of this. You want me to you want me to do what? How do you want me to talk about that? How do you want me to get that across to you that that's real when I was there? See, maybe they want me to be less abrasive because they're not there. They're not seeing this stuff. They're not experiencing this stuff. They're just listening to someone speak about it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I,
Yeah.
Me and my brother went there. We went to Skid Row.
Yeah.
We walked down the Vegas Strip and walked past all the casinos and saw all those homeless people.
Yeah.
We were there. So excuse me if I'm passionate about my brothers and my people, but we be on the ground with it. We not cyber dudes. We were there. We saw it. I put one of the reels up on my channel with us in the car driving. We were there. We saw it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if if I can not be abrasive about our issues, the homelessness, the constant threat of extinction, the joblessness, the poor health conditions. How how can I mean, how?
I understand what you're saying, but it's
See?
like some of the men, it's not even some of them. I think that a lot of the men in the space, they weren't raised with a father figure or around just men like that. And so it just comes across as super abrasive. And this is me talking. This is our interview, so it's me talking. But I understand what you're saying. It's like that medicine that's good for you, but that don't taste good. I know y'all remember that pink bubblegum medicine that used to taste good as hell. And then it was the medicine that wasn't pink that didn't taste good. And I think you're the one, that medicine that don't taste good.
I
So
mean, honestly, because I had to take that medicine my whole life.
the one that
Buckley.
didn't taste
It's
good,
called Buckley's. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. And literally I used to take it, and figuratively, as far as living life. So
Yeah.
me, the lessons I've learned from life has come through harsh reality. So I'm teaching from a harsh reality. And I'm teaching from a harsh reality that not only I've experienced, but I've had to experience other people experience. Because
Yeah.
people forget, you don't just be traumatized by going through the trauma, you actually get traumatized watching other people get traumatized. So it's not that I just grew up in the hood and went through what I went through. No, I went through it with my homeboys. We cried together about stuff. We fought each other about stuff. And a lot of it came from some of the same shit that we had to deal with just being friends growing up there. So a lot of times people don't get it, but you know,
I get it.
I feel like over time though, I've definitely hasn't I haven't been abrasive with the women in a long time. I would you admit to that?
Yeah, you get on some bullshit.
I do.
When you do get abrasive with the women, you get on some bullshit. You do.
But I haven't in a long time though. I
It's been
haven't
a
been
while.
abrasive with y'all in a long
It's
time though.
it's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it is kind of like, I mean, I get what you're saying though. I get you. You know, I've always got you, even though where I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. Like, you know, when you said then, I was the nosy little girl who got kicked out and was still listening. And that was most, and I remember I laughed. That was most definitely me. So, I mean, I get it. I promise I get it. It's just everybody, everybody can't take that bluntness, you know? You can't take it. I see you, Tone, and I seen you, Uncle Reg. Thank you for tapping in. So I don't really have any more questions. I feel like this was a really fucking good interview. Like really, really good. Thank you for letting me interview you.
I appreciate it. I had fun.
This is a really good interview. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to say?
Um, Shout out to you. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Um, and definitely, if y'all think that my perspective will not change, my perspective is going to change again because it's about growth, right?
Mhm.
So, over time, you know, things are gonna develop into other things. It's about progress. So I don't never look at a man and be like, oh well, since he changed, that's a bad thing. No. If you developed into a better version of you, I mean, you know, and I think I'm starting to like smooth out a little bit, you know. Feel like I'm smoothing out a little bit.
Okay.
So, but I definitely appreciate everybody. Shout out to everyone. I appreciate all the love and the support. As always, I'm definitely open to any interviews by the women. Any ladies that want to interview me, y'all can interview me. It's cool. I don't charge, so it's all love.
And I'm not gonna get on y'all's neck because I'm in an interview, but y'all really could have made the Cash App ring. I'm just saying. Nonetheless, thank you so much for tapping in. It was a really good interview. Like really, really good. I mean, I've read some of the stuff, but it
Mhm.
was just more of a free flowing conversation. And I get you. Like I've always got you. Um, you guys subscribe to Sheep and just subscribe to them. Like when I first entered the space, it was a lot different. And you guys always talked about women, but now it's just like, well, not you, but they always talked about women, but it's to a whole different level. And I would actually name some names of people that's been in the space since day one that's like, they're cool. Like, I'm not manosphere, I'm cool on this shit. All they talk about is women, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Once more, thank you so very much.
Shout out to you.
Everybody, what you say, fam?
I said shout out to you. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you. You guys, please hit that like button on the way out for the cloud watchers. Y'all stayed in the whole goddamn time, didn't y'all? Please hit that like button. Ciao. Thank you guys so much for tapping in. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. I'll see you in a couple of days. Bye.